Alright, hey everyone, welcome back to another video of Salesforce Makes Sense. And in this video, we'll talk about operators in Apex, right? This is our continuation series of our Salesforce Developer Masterclass. So for those of you who are seeing this video for the first time, I'll encourage you to start from the very beginning of this playlist so that you reach this point without missing any key information. Right, and for those of you who have been following these videos along, we just completed understanding what are conditionals in Apex, and we took a look at some variants of the if clause, which is if, else, if, and else, and we also looked at the switch statement. Right, now we'll talk about operators in Apex. So not every situations are straightforward, right? As simple as it can be, not every situations are straightforward. If I am going to do this, I have to ensure this is done and this is done, or those three other items are done and this seventh item is not done. Right, there's a lot of conditions in life, there's a lot of criteria in life, there's a lot of criteria in business logic, there's a lot of criteria, functional logic in actual use cases, which is where operators come into play. Right, so operators are nothing but the and, or, and not keywords. So you can say if 1 and 2 or 3 and 4 are true, I want to do this. Right, okay. So those kind of conditions that you have to put on your day-to-day business functions is where you need your operators. And that is precisely what we'll try to learn in this particular video. All right, what we'll do is we'll continue on top of what we have learned as part of our conditionals use cases, which is this particular method. So we talked about whether you make a purchase, whether you are a premium member, whether you are have signed up, right? Now we'll try to add some more logic into it, right? So what I've done is I've created about 7 use cases under a single method, right? Which will use your conditionals and will also use operators. Okay, let's take a look at our method first of all. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of, okay, let's leave this as is, let's leave this as is, and this is where we want to work on and we want to continue. All right, so I'll just get rid of all the comments. So this is how you write comments, right? Double slash. And if you want to write multi-lines comments, you say slash star. That's how you write a comment. Okay, let's get rid of all of the comments, and let's now get rid of all of the if conditions. Okay, we'll start this method from scratch and we'll just say save. Okay, one more thing in developer console you can do is you can just close your methods like this, so you can just understand, okay, this is one method, this is one method, so I've written 3 methods in this class. Okay, easy to read, so you can just close them. Okay, perfect. Now we need to understand operators, right? You understand the basic logic of why we are talking about and or not, right? All right, so now let's understand this use case. What is the requirement? So write a method that again sends an alert based on the kind of user action, but this time look at the user actions. For those of you who are aware of operators and conditionals, pause the video here, take a look at each use case and try to write it on your own. Okay, and for those of you who want to write it with me, let's follow along and continue. So the first use case is if a premium user made a purchase, send a gift card. Okay, so if you now see, we've added some additional spice into it. So if a user has made a purchase, no, it is a premium user only. So you need to send a gift card only if someone has made a purchase and he or she is a premium user. So you see the and clause coming in picture. Let's write it in English first of all. Use case 1. If user is of type premium and purchase has been done. If these two are true, only then send a gift card. Correct? So you see how this is different from the previous if conditions we have written. Those were very plain, only one condition was there, not multiple. Now you have multiple condition, and that has been linked by this keyword called and. Correct? So I have written this in English. Now we'll write it in Salesforce language. So if you already know how to write, I'll just create the block. Now, what should be your first condition? User is of type premium and purchase has been done. So how do you, let me put the debug statement first, system.debug. Thank you. Here is your gift card. Enjoy free videos almost every day. Okay. Now, everything looks good. Only that this particular condition is written in English and this has to be converted into Salesforce language. So first of all, how do you say that the user is of type premium? You have the type of customer field. correct? So what if I just replace this by saying type of customer double equal to premium, correct? So this tells me that, okay, the type of customer is premium and the purchase has been done. So how can I say that the purchase has been done? So if I say that the purchase amount is greater than zero, which means they have bought something, all right? So that makes my conditions properly. And I have just put the and condition in between and I'm trying to save it. Okay. So when I try to save it, taking some time, I'll get rid of the comment. But if you notice, I've gotten an error. All right. So if you see, there are a lot of problems here, right? But I'm not able to understand what is that. So I'll just get rid of my comments first of all. And the only issue here is this particular and that you have written. So in English, it is written like this, but Salesforce will understand by writing two ampersand signs. This is an and operator in Salesforce. Okay. So when you are using Apex, you have to put and like this. All right. Now there's one more error here. I did not mark the close the string. So I'll just close it and now say save. So now my code is completely error free and I'm able to now read it as if the type of customer is premium and the purchase amount is greater than zero, only then it will go inside and give this block. Okay, let's give it a test. So I'll say conditionals in Apex dot handle customer interactions. So I hope you are able to test it out like this, right? It's very easy and straightforward. So let's say I have a regular customer who made a payment. Okay, and he's not a new customer and he has not done a refund. That's why both of the third and fourth variables are false. If I execute, will my code execute? It will not execute. Why? Because the first condition, type of customer equal to premium, is false. So if this is false, it will not even go inside. Both of them have to be true. That's the meaning of and condition. Okay. Why did the log not show up? Let's take a look at the log. So there's no debug only statement. Okay. However, if I now say it was a premium user, okay, and if I now execute my line, I should be able to see the debug statement. Why? Because the purchase amount is greater than zero and he's a premium user. So you see, you get that message. So you understand the and. All right, let's take a look at the second use case. If a regular user made a purchase, send them a thank you alert. So we are not sending any gift cards to the regular user. We are only sending them a thank you message. So now I can say if I'll just copy this, or let's not copy it. Okay, let's type it out to understand better. If type of customer is equal to regular and purchase amount is greater than zero. In that case, I'm saying system.debug. Thank you for your purchase. That's all. No gift cards for you. Save. Okay. Now, if you notice, will there ever be a time that a type of customer will be both in premium and regular? No. They can either be a premium or a regular. So based on our learnings, can we say that this can be a else if condition? Because I don't need to execute both the conditions always. Only one of them will execute at one point in time. So I'll say save. Okay. Now let's say the user is of type guest. He's not a regular user. He's not a premium user. And the guest has made a purchase. So I'll just say it is a new customer who's a guest. I'll say execute. Will any of the blocks execute now? No, they will not execute because it's neither a premium user nor a regular user. No, neither premium nor regular. So it did not even go inside this block. It did not even go inside this block. It directly came here. That's why nothing was available. That was the last line of the code. So it executed without any debug logs. Okay. However, if I put, let's say, regular and 15,000 is the shopping, and I'll just say it is, I'm just putting the two variables false and true because they are mandatory because it's a method. I'll just say execute. Right now, only the first two parameters are what we are focusing on. Debug only. Thank you for your purchase. See, no gift card. It's a regular user. Perfect. Awesome. Let's look at the third use case. If the user has signed up and he has purchased a premium, send a thank you note with a gift card. Okay, so if the user has signed up and he is a premium type of user, he's directly become a premium user, so send them a thank you note. So this means, can I say in English, if type of customer is premium and it is a new customer, this means they have signed up. In that case, I'll give them a thank you note with a gift card. Correct? So I'll just simply write if type of customer double equal to premium and is new customer is true. So I don't need to put equal to true because it's a boolean flag, right? So if it is a new customer and it is a premium type, I say thank you, enjoy free gift card, save. All right. What's the other condition? The fourth one, if it is a premium user and has requested a refund, initiate the refund. So what is this? This means if the type of customer is a premium user, first of all, and they have initiated a refund, which means they have requested a refund, which means refund requested is equal to true. In that case, we will send them a message saying your refund has been initiated. Save. Okay. So now if you notice what I've done is I put if else if here, which means either of these two will execute or none of them will execute. And then this if condition will always execute because it is an independent if condition. And then this is also an independent if condition. So this will also always execute. But if the criteria is not met, it will not go inside, but the if condition will execute. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So based on your business requirement, you can decide what can be an independent if and what can be a nested if else ladder. Let's look at the fifth use case. If the user is a regular user and has requested a refund, send them an update about the refund status. So if the user is a regular user, correct? So if type of customer is regular and they have requested a refund, I will say system.debug, your refund is in process. Please allow some time. Perfect. Let's look at the next use case. I'm just doing it a bit faster because it's very straightforward. Okay. Wherever I have to slow down, I'll slow down. Don't worry. The next use case, if the user is not a premium user, there's a time to slow down now. So if the user is not a premium user and not a regular user and has purchased, give them a 10% discount. Let's read this again. If the user is not a premium user and not a regular user. So how do I write it in English? If type of customer is neither premium nor regular and purchase amount is greater than 0, then we write a debug statement. Basically, we give them a 10% discount. 10% discount added to your balance. Correct? So now this is written in English. How do I write it in Salesforce language? Let's go ahead and say if. Let's put the debug statement inside the if clause. And let's now start typing the condition. So if type of customer is neither premium nor regular. So can I say type of customer is not equal to premium and type of customer is not equal to regular and purchase amount is greater than 0. Does this sound fine? What does this mean? This means that this particular if condition will only be executed if you are not a premium user and if you are not a regular user and your purchase amount is greater than 0. Which means, let's say you are a guest, right? And you have done a purchase of more than 0 rupees or something more than 0. So this will get executed. Let's give it a try. So I'll say you are not a regular user. Let's say you are a guest user and you have done a purchase and I'll say execute. So 10% discount should be added to your balance. Let's see. 10% discount is added. So you see what we did here? We said not equal to. Instead of double equal to, now we are saying not equal to. All right. Let's look at the next use case. If the user could not make a successful purchase due to any issues, send a notification to try again. So if the user could not make a successful purchase due to any issues, send a notification. So what does this mean? This means if purchase amount is, let's say, less than zero, something went wrong and and the purchase amount could not be processed. Okay, so I'll simply say system.debug, please try again in some time. Okay, so that's just a use case wherein we are handling a scenario wherein something failed, right? In actual use case, it will be a different scenario, but just understand, okay, if the purchase amount could not be processed, you can say, please try again in some time. All right. Now let's make these things a bit more interesting. So now let's look at a scenario where if let's say you are a premium user or you are a guest user and you have made a purchase, in that case, I give you a thank you note, right? So if I had to write this in English first, if user is a premium or let's say a regular user or a guest user and they made a purchase, send them a thank you note, right? So if you see this scenario, you have two operators. One is this or clause here and this and clause here. So if user is a regular or a guest user is one bit, and the second bit is even if it is either one of them and they have made a purchase, then we need to send them a thank you note. Correct? So how would this be written in Salesforce? I'll write the if condition syntax. Type of customer equals regular or type of customer equals guest and purchase amount is greater than zero. Correct? This is how I would write it in partial English, partial Salesforce understandable language. I'll simply say thank you here for now. Okay, so I can get rid of the English line now and I'll just align this properly. So now if you notice, you have this or condition and condition. We already know that and looks like this, right? The or looks like this, two single slashes or horizontal lines right above your enter key. Okay, and now I can save it. All right. Now the thing is, if you read this line, what does it tell you? It tells you that if the type of customer is regular or type of customer is guest and purchase amount is greater than zero. Okay. How do you know the order of what is in or which of the conditions are together? Right? Have you like in mathematics we know there's a sequence of execution of the multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, right? So division is first, multiplication is second, or same priority. Subtraction and division are next. Accordingly you proceed, right? But who gets the highest precedence? Things that are inside brackets, right? So if you have to tell the system that I want to check that the type of customer is regular or the type of customer is guest and the purchase amount is greater than zero. Correct? This is how I want to tell the system, right? I don't want to tell the system if the type of customer is equal to regular or these two are true, because that makes a difference. Correct? So I have to put brackets to tell system that I am looking at either one of these followed by the purchase amount being greater than zero. So you have to put a bracket with the conditions that should be together. So you see this bracket will now tell the system that I need to evaluate whether this is there or this is there. If one of them is there, then also check, because there's an and that the purchase amount is greater than not. So I'll say save. Okay. Now when I do this and I'll try to hit this, and let's say my purchase amount is greater than zero and the type of user is regular or guest. See, the user is guest. So I'll say execute. So I should get a thank you note for sure. So you see, I'm getting a thank you note. Okay. If I'm a premium user, what will happen? It will not give me a thank you note. Why? Because this condition evaluates to false, the first condition. See, I'm not getting that thank you plain note. It's part of the other debug. I'm not getting this thank you. Why? Because this condition evaluated to false. All right. I'll just quickly give you a simple way of debugging things, right? So what was our input? Our input was premium and 15,000. Whenever you're debugging your code, right? So just put your variable values here. Like for example, type of customer is coming in as premium and the purchase amount is coming as 15,000. Okay, let's see if this node will get executed or not. Okay, the very easy way to understand this is, let's bring this node out. Let's put it here and let's evaluate it manually, understanding how the system would evaluate. So first of all, it has to evaluate this particular block because it is within brackets. So type of customer is equal to regular, false, because it is a premium customer. Or type of customer is equal to guest, no, even that's false. And purchase amount is greater than 5, greater than 0, which is true because 15,000 is greater than 0. So and true. So now what will this evaluate? True. False or false is false, and true. So false and true is false. So it did not run. Correct? So this is how you can evaluate, and this is how you can understand whether a node or a if condition or a block will execute or not based on the input you have provided. This is very helpful. This understanding is very helpful for debugging any line of code in your actual use cases. Okay, I'll show you how this would have been different if the brackets would have changed. So assume that you would have not put the brackets here, okay, and you put the bracket here. So now let's take this particular node, put it here. Now, is the type of customer regular? No, the type of customer is premium. So this particular thing will be false. False. Or now, is the type of, this should not be here, this should be here, let's say. Okay. So now type of customer is equal to guest is false, and purchase amount is greater than 0 is true. So false and true. And then this would be evaluated as false, or what is false and true? It is false. And this would be evaluated as false. False or false is false. See, the final outcome might be same, but the way it interpreted it is different. Correct? And if the scenario was something else, it would have gone wrong, and it would have evaluated to true, and you would have gotten the message, which would have been wrong. Okay, so always ensure that your criteria, your conditions are based on what you want the system to understand, not how you write it. Like it's not always just put the statement as is and it will work. No, right? So that's why in list views, right? You have list views, you have formulas, you have validation rules. You put a filter logic. What is a filter logic? You say 1 and 2 or 3. So you have to say the system whether it is 1 and 2 or 3, or it is 1 and 2 or 3. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so brackets will always give you the precedence and will give you the priority order of how the system will calculate it. All right, so we understood about the AND operator, we understood about the OR operator, we understood about the precedence and the priority of execution. Okay, one more thing I'd like to tell you is, let's say you have an OR condition. Okay, let's say our only condition was this: if the type of customer is a regular customer or the type of customer is a guest customer, then give them a thank you note. Let's say this was our condition. In this case, what will happen is, what Salesforce will do is, it will take a look. Who's the type of customer? Let's say the type of customer is regular, scenario 1. Okay, be with me here. Okay, just try to understand what I'm giving you. This is extra information, might not be needed, but it's very good for your decision thinking and debugging abilities. So if the type of customer is regular, this bit will evaluate to true. Correct? So this would be true or false. This would be false. Correct? Because the type of customer is equal to guest is false because it is a regular customer. So if this is true, this will be false. So true or false, what is true or false? It is true. Correct? So it will evaluate to true. But now Salesforce will not look at this particular part. If in a scenario wherein you have a OR condition, if the first condition evaluates to true, it does not have to look at the second thing. Why? Because true or false is always true. So anything after the OR condition does not matter because the first condition is already evaluated to true. Correct? So it will not even execute this part and it will directly go inside the if condition. However, if the type of customer was guest, what it would do, it would take a look, is type of customer regular? No, so this is false. So if the first condition is false, it has to go in and check whether the second condition is true or not, because false or true will also be true, but it has to take a look at the second condition. Why? Because the first condition has been false. So it will say, is the type of customer guest? Oh yes, it is a guest. So false or true equal to true again. So it will go inside. But why did it have to check the second condition? Because the first one was not true in case of an or condition. Correct? However, if you see an and condition, let's say this example. Okay, if the type of customer is regular, right? So this first bit will evaluate to true. So can the system directly go ahead and conclude true? No, because there is an and condition, meaning both of them have to be true. So it has to go ahead and check the second thing also. So it will say true and is the refund requested? So let's say it is false. So if it is not requested, it is true and false. So this becomes false. See, decision changed. And if it is a refund requested, only then true and true is when it will go inside and execute the block. I hope that makes sense. That made sense. All right. So that's what I wanted to explain. Now let's look at one more scenario, one more thing, which is the not operator. Okay, the not operator looks like this. You simply put an exclamation sign. That's it. That's a not operator. So how do you use it? So let's say my use case is if user has not requested a refund. Okay, let's put this bit right now. Okay, send them, or let's say what other fields do we have? New customer, right? So if the user is not a new customer, let's say this. If the user is not a new customer, okay, then give them perks and benefits of the club. How do I write this? I'll say if is new customer, that is our boolean flag, correct? Is new customer. So I can write it like this: if is new customer equal to false, correct? So this is one way of writing it. I'll say system.debug benefits extended. However, like I said, there's another way of writing this, right? If this were to be to true, you would simply put like this, just the variable name. But if you want to say if it is not a new customer, instead of writing equal to false, you can put an exclamation sign right before the variable. What does this mean? This means it will check is new customer, whatever is the value, it will switch the value to the opposite. So true becomes false, false becomes true, and that is the property of the not operator. Correct? So how would you read it? You would read it if it is not a new customer, not a new customer. So I don't want to extend the benefits. I have to extend the benefits, I'm sorry. Right? Else I don't extend the benefits. So if it is not a new customer, you want to give it a try, let's give it a try. So I'll just choose a scenario wherein it is not a new customer. Let's say is new customer is false. So if I say execute, I will get the benefits extended debug log. See that this got executed. So how did this get executed? What came here is the value came as false. Correct? See, I put a false value. Correct? So what it did is here it evaluated it like this. So it did not of false. What is not of false? Just switch it. It is true. So this got true and it evaluated and it went inside the if block. Okay. If I sent it as true, what would be the not of true? It would be false. It would not go inside. Okay. So if I try to send it as true and I say execute, it will not go inside the block now because the if condition is evaluated to false because of the not operator in between in the starting. See, benefits extended has not come. All right. One last scenario. If user is a, I'll just test your patience. Okay. If user is a premium member and has not made a purchase, okay, but has also requested a refund. Send them inconsistent note, right? So look at this example. If user is a premium member, how do I write it? I'll say type of customer double equal to premium. This is what we know already. And so I have an and condition. See, why is it very important to write everything in English or your own understandable language? Then you are it gets very easy to frame the decision notes. Okay. And has not made a purchase. How do you say that? You'll say and purchase amount equal to 0 because there's no purchase. Okay. And then there's a but has also requested a refund. So that means they have also requested a refund. So requested refund equal to true. In that case, I want to send them a debug note. This is inconsistent as you have not made a purchase. Okay, so if I try to save this without the English lines, save, this should save up fine. There's some error. What's the error? Requested refund. It should be refund requested, right? I messed up the variable name. So refund requested. Save. So if you're not able to understand the error, always look at the problems. I was able to debug it myself, so I didn't have to look at it, but you can take a look at the problem section down below and try to fix it. Okay, let's now execute it. So let's say if the user is premium, the value is 0 and the refund requested is true. So that means without making a purchase, they're trying to do a refund, right? Does not make sense, right? So I'll just say execute. This should say that you have not made a purchase. This is inconsistent. Perfect. Okay. So go ahead and try to play with this code a bit more if you want to. Just use, more scenarios. See, we did a lot of scenarios here, and I hope that has cleared a lot of decision related abilities that you can take. Right. One more thing I would like to add. I'm always like, as much as information I can provide, I'll try to provide. So you see this particular node. So you might ask, Himanshu, this is a scenario wherein you have multiple nodes, multiple criteria. Why did not you use a priority parameter here, like the bracket, like you used in the previous one? Because everything is in AND. So that means the system has to execute everything and there's no priority. If any one of them is false, it will not go inside. Only if in a scenario when you have multiple, like for example, you have one and two or three, in that case, you need to tell the system that I need to put a or in these two things, not in these two things. Okay, if all are same, if this would have been or, you don't have to put any brackets because it will have to check all the nodes. In case of and, it will check all three nodes. In case of or, it will check the first node. If true, just go inside. If not true, check the second node. If second node is true, go inside. If not true, check the third node. If true, go inside. Else, don't go inside. So you understood how Salesforce saves some time if you are using a or clause. Okay. One more thing that is important, I have explained everything here, but one more thing, what I want you to do is give me the result of this table. Okay. This is very important to understand. So what I want you to do is tell me the result. Okay. True and true. So if you're good with this, you don't have to worry about anything below that I've taught. True and false. Give me the answer of these questions. Okay. False and true. What should be the result? False and false. What should be the result? True or true? What should be the result? Okay, make sure that you answer this question. Even if you did not understand anything from this video, and if you understood everything, I still want an answer for these questions. Okay, just put a comment down below and give me the result of each one of them based on your understanding. And I'll reply back whether your answer is correct or not, and if any particular answer is incorrect. Okay, but this is important. Just give me the comment for this. False or true? False or false? Let's increase a bit of true and not true. Okay, things will get interesting. False or not false? False or true and false? One last one. True and true or false or not true and false or true. Okay, what I want you guys to do is don't panic. Okay, but give me the result of all of these operations. What will be the result? Will it be true or will it be false? The answer can only be two of them. It can either be true or it can be false. If you understand, if you are able to get all of this right, you are very well sorted in the area of conditionals and operators. Okay, just try to give me this answer. All right, I'll wait for your answers. And yeah, that is all about operators and conditionals. We'll now jump into understanding a bit about collections. That's our next target. Perfect. I'll see you in the next video.